What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, we've been going over some really strong new Incarnon weapons recently on the channel. We've got the Strun Prime, we've got the Paris Prime, Bratton Prime video might already be out, and Latron is apparently really good too. So, going over lots of really powerful stuff. Today, we're going to go over an Incarnon weapon that I actually don't think is very powerful, and compared to the ones we were just talking about, is actually really underwhelming and disappointing. So we'll be going over the FURAX WRAITH Incarnon adapter today. We'll be discussing what it can do, what you can maybe use this for if you did pick the FURAX WRAITH Incarnon Unlocker, and what kinds of builds you can go for, because I did actually get some ribbons for this thing. I was excited for it, and it has some kind of cool stuff, but honestly, it's just not on the same level as like the Strun and all those types of things. It feels like most of the melee ones aren't as phenomenal as the guns, but I also don't have all of them yet. Before we get into it, make sure you're subbed to the show. We do daily Warframe video uploads. We'll have another Incarnon weapon coming out later today, as long as there's another special news that comes out. Also, check out the live stream channel. We'll be doing some weekly reset stuff that I wasn't able to do on Sunday on stream very soon, like the Archon Hunt, etc., etc. All right, so the FURAX WRAITH Incarnon. What does this do? So basically, the FURAX are some gauntlets. So punching weapon, they use the fist stance for melees, and we've currently got Seismic Palm equipped. I'm going to summon in some Exo Goxted officers, and we're going to show you what you can expect as far as this with a full build on it. So you build some combo up. Once you get to 6 combo multiplier, do either a heavy attack or a heavy slam, and you will go into Incarnon mode. The special attack of the FURAX WRAITH Incarnon is it will drop a fire trail on the ground when you do a heavy slam. Additionally, you will have massive heavy attack efficiency on heavy slams only. On heavy attack normal, you do not have any built-in heavy efficiency, as you can see right there. The FURAX WRAITH has built-in initial combo of 20, so that's why we didn't go all the way to 0. It's because the FURAX WRAITH has always had built-in initial combo, so it's going to be relatively nice for a 2x heavy build. So as you can see, I mean, it's not really doing much, and if we take a peek at that heavy slam, on these Armored Grenier, you're seeing actual 2 damage. Now, they're not... That was a 1 damage right there. Now, they're not armor stripped, obviously, but let's try it with armor strip and see how different it really is. So she should still be alive. Armor strip. Okay, now that she's armor stripped, 226. So it seems like the fire AoE of the heavy slam doesn't really scale with mods, like, at all. So that's already, off the bat, not really looking too hot for me, pun intended. 97 damage on her. Now that we've seen what you can expect from this, let's go over the rest of the things you get from when you do go into the Incarnon form. And we're also going to show all the Incarnon options you can choose on this thing, if you do want to go for it. There is also the Mark 1 FURAX and just the normal FURAX. But once you're in Incarnon mode, once you get your 6x multiplier and do a heavy slam or heavy attack, what you are provided with is you will get increased melee damage by 100%. You'll also get 25% increased sprint speed and plus 25% bullet jump. So yeah, you're really only getting some small-ish buffs, and they are touting that fire slam as an actual good feature of this thing. Unless there is something I am unaware of from my initial testing, this thing is not good to me. A 2 damage fire slam when they're armored and 97 damage when they're not armored is honestly a waste of an Incarnon unlocker, and I massively regret picking this up. But hey, since I picked it up, maybe it can be a warning to people that have not picked their Incarnon unlockers this week. This is not one you should really rush. Now, it does look really cool. I do like the red and black fist with like the void spikes on it. It's very nice. But let's go over these Incarnons. So for the first choices, you've got Swordsman Flourish, which will give you increased base damage by 65, and while you're only holding a melee weapon, you get increased combo count chance by 100%. So basically, when you punch enemy, it's going to be 2 hits instead of 1. Or you can go for Killjoy, the one I've gone for, increased damage by 55, and plus 10% attack speed per enemy within 6 meters, stacks up to 5 times. So you can have 50% increased attack speed with having no mods if you use Killjoy. But the enemies have to be basically in like melee range, literally, which makes sense because it's a melee. For Tier 3, your choices are going to be Heavy Attack Efficiency is built in at 20%, plus 1 range, and I can't remember what the other one was. I believe it was not something that's not phenomenal, though. So, yeah. Heavy Attack Efficiency at 20 is interesting. 40% chance of bleed on impact status effect. Actually, no, the tier 3 one was important, and we'll go over that in a brief moment here. And it's actually going to be one of the other downsides of this thing is the tier 3 Incarnon. But for the final chance, you've got final choice. You've got slash procs become bleed procs with a 40% chance. So 40% chance impact procs become bleed procs. That's what we're going to be using in this video for the most part. The other two choices are increased status chance and increased crit attack, crit damage multiplier on slide attack, actually. So yeah, we're going to the good old, the olden days where a slide attack's going to have increased crit multiplier by 4. So if that's something that's interesting to you, the fun thing about this weapon is that the slide attack is actually like an uppercut. Have you ever played like Mortal Kombat? So here's a slide attack. So that slide attack right there, if you have that Incarnon option selected, will be +4, I believe, base crit multiplier. So pretty interesting, but also not phenomenal. Now, we are talking about tier 3 Incarnon evolution. Your choices here are going to be plus range, built-in 20% heavy attack efficiency, so when you heavy attack, you won't lose all your hits, you'll lose most of them. The third option is combo count is paused on melee holstered, which means you can keep your combo when this thing's holstered. You might think that's actually good, and it can be good, but one of the big problems here is it's not going to work on stat 6 like Korra. I did test it out. So we have a 12x multiplier in Korra. We use our Whip Claw once. All of our combo multiplier is gone. So DE did remember this. So it is not really good as a stat stick if you're using that Incarnon choice. But there are also some other choices you could go for if you really want to use this thing for a stat stick. It has decent rivens, but I really wouldn't recommend it. So basically what we're looking at here now, we've everything said and done. The Incarnons we've gone for, we have Killjoy for giving increased attack speed up to 50% if enemies are nearby us, 10% per enemy. You got +1 range. The other option here would have been heavy attack efficiency. Up to you, really. I've been doing lots of light attacks on this thing, and the heavy slams have like infinite efficiency, so don't really need heavy attack efficiency in my opinion. We've also got flashing bleed. This is the one we would really be focusing on here. Impact procs become slash procs at a 40% chance. So think of it like Hunter Munitions. Now here's our build. It might look kind of weird, a Saxon Thorax in here. I am testing it out. Basically, this will make it where we get impact procs more often. We do want to get as many impact procs as possible because they will become slash procs a good amount of the time. So our build here is a impact puncture / no elementals build with Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush and also Sacrificial Steel. We're trying to get a bunch of crits. We want to get, funny enough, we want to get red crit impact procs if we can. And of course, this thing does have decent dispo for Riven, so if you have a good Riven, you can maybe replace Sacrificial Steel, or maybe even take out Saxon Thorax. You're not going to be really getting as many slash procs as you would hope because it's just a dice roll. I mean, 40% chance to proc. So this is what we got here. Condition Overload for big damage. Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush for getting our scaling on here. Sacrificial Steel because I have good base crit chance. And then, Bane the Grenier for more damage. Organ Shatter for more crit damage. And Saxon Thorax. Now, you might be like, where's the attack speed? The attack speed comes from Killjoy. We have 50% attack speed if enemies are nearby us. Now, let's just show what you can kind of expect here. I'm going to just build up combo all the way and just punch them. And then we'll do some Steel Path gameplay. Yeah, the heavy slam is just, I don't know what the purpose of it is. It does proc heat, technically. It does proc heat. It does not seem to proc elementals at all. I've modded this for elemental to test it out. But it does not seem to proc elementals. These guys are lifted enemies. We have the Saxon bonus is going to make it where enemies who are lifted are going to explode on death, causing AoE impact damage, which I don't think the impact damage will work with this, but that would be cool if it did. And also, if the enemy is not lifted, it will go on cooldown, but still blow them up. So here you go. We'll do some Epitaph, like viral procs. Now, as far as the stance we've gone for Seismic Palm. One of these stances of Seismic Palm does have one of the combos has a forced impact proc, as you can see right there. The first hit of the standing combo is a forced impact proc, but it's just the first hit, so you basically have to stop and then re-punch again. And as you can see right there, 5 impact procs, and I think we got 1 slash proc there. So it's really going to be a roll of the dice. Wow, she got 10 impact procs and not a single slash. See what I mean? This is not exactly what I'm looking for an Incarnon thing that required a lot of Steel Path grinding. Now, I mean, it's better than the FURAX was before. At least the FURAX can scale better now because it didn't really have this slash before. But yeah, I would definitely be lying if I said I wasn't very disappointed in this, and I wish this was the Latron instead. But yeah, this is what you get. If this is something that interests you, I mean, okay, let's look at the bright side. What are some good features of this weapon and this thing in general? Well, it's some gigantic fists. So if you think punching the Grenier and slash procking them is fun, then there you go. You get your power fantasy of punching the Grineer. This is probably one of the best punching melees in the game. As far as scaling, I mean, there's other ones too. Let me go look in the arsenal while we're talking about this. But I believe this is one of the best scaling fist weapons in the game. I think maybe the Tekko Prime. The Tekko Prime is a sparring weapon, I believe, so that's going to have a bunch of slash. It's also going to have more base damage before the Incarnon. So it's very similar to Tekko Prime, but Tekko Prime's a different stance. The heavy attack looks kind of cool. It's just like a big punch. And, you know, you can proc impact on the heavy attack, but again, it will be a 40% chance to proc. So, honestly, I'm kind of like hoping for a buff on this one. Is that spoiled of me to even ask for? I feel like it kind of is, because we've been getting such good Incarnon guns, where it's just like, this melee just doesn't feel like it holds up with the rest of them. The heavy fire slam is, dude, I literally already forgot about it, because it is so not used. If I guess for one more proc for condition overload, it can be nice. And also, there's a special mod called Amalgam FURAX Body Count, which will be a AoE impact proc on melee kill. It says blast in the description, but it's actually an impact proc. That impact proc is literally 1 damage. So it's not like you could even use the Amalgam FURAX for AoE slash. And I mean, you're doing slash. You're trying to go for slash procs anyway. So shattering impact to remove armor is not going to be what you're looking to do either. So you'll see some pretty decent numbers in this gameplay footage. I am using my Riven in here, which is double crit attack speed and minus Corpus. So I would say if you do want to use this, you're going to want a Riven, because it has good Riven stats. You're probably going to want to use this for a stat stick, if anything, in the future. You know, get the combo multiplier up, heavy slam, get your multiplier out, and I guess just that's what you could use it for. So I'm sorry this was not an extremely exciting one, guys. I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm going to try out the uppercut spam build in the future, but for right now, the impact becomes slash build. It's just, the numbers aren't there. I'm thinking the Magistar next week will probably have 40% impact become slash as well. And it just doesn't feel that great right now. I mean, right there, I heavy attacked that guy. He didn't take an impact proc. He didn't take a slash proc. It just was nothing, pretty much. And if you want to massively increase the status chance with some of those final evolution choices, that means you're losing out on impact becomes slash. So this thing really relies on impact becomes slash in its final Incarnon. But, you know, it's a low number in the first place, and lots of the other good buffs you could have chosen were also in that final column as well. So you basically, it comes down to 50% attack speed and a little bit of range, or maybe a little bit of heavy attack efficiency. But as you can see right here, if I was doing a heavy attack build, I'd have to like rebuild combo in between all these hits. And it can build combo relatively easily, especially if you go for the Incarnon choice that gives you 100% increased combo gain when you have only the melee out. So that's something you could maybe try out too if you really, really want to make this thing work. And I did really want to make it work. An elemental build is good too, but you're diluting your procs and not getting as many impact then. And the forced impact procs in these stances are really not super, you know, frequent. And there's a couple combos that do guaranteed impact procs, but even then, yeah, it's just not a great feeling. So sorry if this ruined anyone's fun. I really did want it to be good. I really, really did. I mean, I literally chose this over the Latron when I knew the Latron would be good. So I wanted to be better more than anyone out there, and I'm telling you right now, it's not. So, because the thing is, I can go using my actual good slash melees, and I'm not gonna be like waiting for a 40% chance, because this thing's not proc. It's not procking slash on its own, really. It's not. It's gonna be forced. It's going to be the force procs of impact becomes slash. Let me say I throw my Pangolin Prime here, one of my favorite slash melees. Dude, these guys would all be dead in one hit. It wouldn't even be like a dice roll. It would be like, because I think that thing actually has guaranteed double slash procs in every hit with how much status chance I jammed on my build. So, yeah, you're pretty much just using this for the power fantasy of punching enemies and punching them to death. If that's what you want to do, this is going to be a good choice for you. If that's not what you want to do, definitely keep it as one of the last Incarnons you choose. Like, even honestly, the Furus would have been more useful than this one. So I'll see you guys next time. I appreciate all your support, and let me know how you feel about the FURAX Incarnon down in the description, or rather in the comments. I am interested to see if people actually like this one. Maybe I just have like too high of standards for this, honestly. I went from going like the Strun yesterday to this. Maybe I'm just like too spoiled by Incarnons right now, and it could be good to somebody out there. Either way, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate all the support. Take it easy. Peace.